It's a long time since I made a video. The inside of the house remains virtually as it was in my last video, but a lot of work has taken place in the garden and the surrounding property. My wife has been busy planting. Every time we go past the garden centre, we've been to every one in our town. We fill the pickup truck with plants. They're so much cheaper than they are in the West. There's a beautiful garden centre not far from immigration in Conan, and we'll be going there again tomorrow. I mentioned the surrounding area that work is taking place. There was a gigantic tree where they're now planting tapioca, and it was cut down using a machete. It took them, as you can imagine, took them quite a while. The trunks of the tree were cut with a chainsaw, but everything else, every branch, was used with a machete. A man climbed up the tree and cut it down piece by piece. It would have taken him 4 or 5 days non-stop work to do it, and he spread it over a period of time. So it wasn't worth my while trying to film him doing it, but I've never seen such a thing happen before. You can see that this corner used to be where we had our sand and some bricks delivered on the first couple of weeks that we were here. Since I made the last video, my uncle has completed the Sala and this carport. So the carport works nicely. It could have been a metre nearer where I'm standing, but the cab of both cars are kept nice and cool. The sun doesn't get to them at all. We bought a lot of plants, but my wife has split many of them. Up until the time the rains came, there was very little growth, but since the rain has come, it's been quite spectacular. I'm walking around the side. I don't know the names of the flowers. I know that's a bird of paradise straight in front of me. I haven't a clue. My wife was saying that she threw some seeds down, and within 4 or 5 days they were 2 inches high. And I don't like this particular plant. My wife loved it, even though she's afraid of snakes. It's the most expensive plant we have. I think it's, how should I say, kind of statuesque. It's well sculptured, but it looks like snakes to me, and I don't like it. Anyway, the gate remains as it was, pushed back off the road to allow easier access than we would have otherwise had. A couple of pallets left. The stupid man who started building our Thai kitchen greatly overestimated the number of bricks he needed. We are finding use for them as we go by, but we've still got some left. Go to the corner. Where this cloth is essentially a little greenhouse, and when we were buying plants originally, we put the pots in there out of the way. But of course since then they've been moved, transplanted. I don't know what he's selling. We had over 30 loads of soil delivered, and there's just a little bit left. There's a hole in the ground there. We're doing some drainage work to the rear of the house, which I won't bother to show now. It's only a block channel to direct the water more quickly to the road. The natural flow of water on the land is coming from the direction of the steps. All the water comes down like a little river underneath these chippings and goes out through the gate. The recovered old house now gives us 2 storage rooms and a large seating area. The Sala is complete with furniture. I don't use it much, but all the Thai relatives seem to enjoy it. Just in front of us is that large trough. It was originally meant for lotus flowers. We don't have a lotus flower in at the moment, but we have some fish and they're thriving. Here's our new little dog. His name is Foxy. I've shown the Thai kitchen before. Quick look. This is teak furniture. It'll be here long after we've gone. Spare room which could be used as a bedroom. Nearly all cooking is done here. Proper oven. Nice fridge, storage, and in the corner. Bit dark at the moment. Fully functioning bathroom. I'd mentioned in an earlier video that by building this ourselves and not having it as part of the main house, we saved around 15,000 UK pounds. The Sala was made out of wood recovered from the old house. We've had some metal work to buy and obviously the roof. Our uncle made it, very, very talented man. We've had a little bit of extra metal welded to what was the sheltered canopy going up the steps. This is just to have plants hanging from it, but our intention to have clematis or other creepers climbing up it. It's very humid in Thailand, and it means we don't need to water these plants which absorb their moisture from the air. More evidence here of plants that have been split, separated and planted. Hundreds of plants now in a relatively short time. We have some solar lights in the garden, a bit childish. We hardly ever come out at night. When the rain started, there were channels in the floor where the rainwater went. These were filled in with chip-ins, and then the land was covered with chip-ins, as I'll show you when I turn round. But one of the channels went directly to our cannabis plant, which I was wondering whether or not to knock down, depending on the Thai government's political position. But I didn't need to, because the channel was directly in line with the cannabis and it knocked it down, so the cannabis is gone. This is a big papaya tree. There's Foxy again, amusing himself. This whole area looked pretty gruesome before, but you can see now since it's planted, looks rather nice. My wife has worked exceptionally hard because every chipping you see on this land has been put down by her. Our well tower, without which we would not operate because the water pressure from the local authority is very low, especially very early in the morning when it's difficult to make a shower operate. Now we have as much water as we want. It'll never be cost effective in terms of what it costs us to build and how much we get of free water, but it's a convenience. The one thing, of course, if there's a power cut, we don't get water because we rely on the pumps to provide the water being pushed into the house. The big pump with the white top gets the water from underground, it goes into the tank, and then when we turn a tap on, a faucet, so the Mitsubishi, the small yellow pump, pressures it into the house. I mentioned the little door before that I wanted put in. Everybody thought I was crazy, but fortunately when one of the water pipes broke or separated inside, my cousin was easily able to go in through the doors, fix the leak. Otherwise we wouldn't have known what the hell to do. We would have had to knock down a wall somewhere in order to find out what was going on. We've had to do some work on the sewage system, and we will still need to do it. There is some rainwater getting into the tanks system. We can manage until the rain stop. I think it's likely we'll have one new big plastic initial tank in the series because the other one doesn't seem to cope. Until this morning, this area had rubbish in it, with the remains of the old house still there, but a lady's taken it all away. Most of it was wood, and they will turn that wood into charcoal. Just there you can see bananas on our tree. Bananas are quite cheap out here. They're everywhere. I was eating them every day when I came here first. I don't think I've had one. Yeah, I had two in the middle of the week, last week. There was a snake in this corner a few weeks ago. My mother-in-law and my wife killed it. I'm almost certain it was a green snake and very likely harmless. It wasn't a viper, that's for sure, and it's a shame. But most Thais are afraid of snakes. We've had two since we've been here, which isn't bad, I suppose. But part of the reason for that, for only a small number, is that we live in a muban, that's a village, and each house protects the others. It wouldn't be worthwhile any snake coming here for food because there isn't any for it. We think that the rat snake that we had came from next door when they decided they would clear their land, so they evicted that particular snake. He was picked up by one of our builders, put in a plastic bag and taken down the road into the country and released. More birds of paradise over there. I don't know what these flowers are. I'm told that we have a galangal, a type of ginger, growing here. We have lemongrass. Somewhere there are chili plants, but chilies are so cheap in Thailand that nobody bothers. We've done one circuit. Foxy needs company and he's following me around. So we're off to Conan tomorrow for me to do my 90-day report. Undoubtedly buy some more plants. We can completely fill the back of this for under £20 UK. We probably spend about £10 per plant in the UK. And it looks nice. My Welsh flag is hanging there. However, pride of place goes to the two Thai flags. And to make a political point, I am now living in Thailand since the 16th of August. I almost certainly will not go back to the UK now. But I didn't come to Thailand to change it like a lot of immigrants to the UK try to change the UK. I live under Thai law. I respect the Thais. I respect their legal system. I will eventually die here. As they said in the film Gladiator, not just yet, I hope. The white flower over there I can show off. I know what that is. It's called a lilaladi. Our lime tree still has lots of limes on it, but they're not falling to the ground in the numbers that they were. Seems to have settled down. A quick look. Pomegranate tree doesn't seem to be thriving. The pomelo tree just behind it, that's not exactly racing. Big success story. The flowers, lovely. This little wired thing here is one of my childish things. It's called a Firework. And it has 120 little flashing lights of different colours at night. Looks pretty. Neighbours must think we're daft. So there you have it. Big difference to the outside of the house. Water drainage from the house, perfect. Apart from the fact that we suspect that we have some rainwater going into the sewage system at the back. But when we have the tanks pumped, it's 120 baht, that's £3. And we have that done once a month. The rains will be over in 2 or 3 months. And we might consider putting another big tank in a slightly different position. So here we are. One last look. Pretty overcast here today. The sun is trying to break through. It's actually, although it's the rain season, it's been too warm to make a video this time of day during the last few days. It's just been very hot. The weather forecast on my phone says 33, but seems like 42. And although I like the heat, when it gets to that sort of temperature, you're well, you don't feel ill, but you don't have the energy to do anything. Little Foxy, you can hear the other dogs barking. And that's it. I don't think there's anything else to say. Thank you for watching. My next video will be of a magnificent Chinese Thai temple which is in our town. Thank you. Goodbye.